Get the cream, precious metals or the crypto things. Your bars are light like the one that's on a Smith machine. But my match swell and I ain't speaking about the pretty wings. Watch.
Welcome to 3-Count Commentaries, and we got to discuss Survivor Series. We're going to do predictions here. I really, this is going to be an overlooked show, which means it's probably going to be very good. Usually when WWE decides to half-ass the promotion and the build, and they don't really do too much in the way of putting stakes and everything on the line, usually the in-ring work, the bell is pretty solid. Survivor Series is usually a place where they do, it's time to make a new star. It's time to debut somebody. It's time to do something fun. Survivor Series throughout history has always been full of debuts and returns and cool stuff. Not this year, though. If The Rock doesn't show up, then, there's nothing. I really can't see anything happening on Survivor Series that would make this show, that would take it from, they don't care about this show to, oh, they really put some thought into this show. I really don't see that changing, and it's because the way WWE put this card together, where it's because it's just champions versus champions and 5-on-5 men, 5-on-5 women. And then they just added a battle royal. Of course, there are no stakes. So the years of Survivor Series mattering, I've said this before on this channel, that WWE does not care about Survivor Series. I would not be surprised if within the next couple of years they don't just get rid of Survivor Series altogether. It used to be a big pay-per-view, but if they can't find anything to make this show worth something, then I don't see how much longer it could be around. All right, so that's just background. So let's talk about the show. Survivor Series. United States Champion Damien versus the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. This match has had absolutely zero build. They have not said any negative words about each other. I don't even think they've even tweeted at one another. Nothing has happened. No stone has been turned or unturned. It's just simply a match between two guys, both of them whom are baby faces. And it's going to be a work rate match, essentially. I have high hopes for the in-ring product. I don't see how people can get into it. Because it's going to be babyface versus babyface. I don't see how people can get into it. But they're going to do their best. And I already know that they will be doing their best. As far as the winner is concerned, I think it's going to be Damien Priest. The reason why is because Shinsuke Nakamura is usually in this position. He's usually the Intercontinental Champion. Into Survivor Series. I think it's happened at least once or twice before, right? That he was Intercontinental Champion going in and he lost every time. He's going to lose again. Damien Priest is a guy that they actually seem to be pushing, at least for the time being. In today's landscape, anything can change. He could lose the U.S. title on Monday and then be out of the company by next Wednesday or something like that. So what we're going to do is I think it's going to be Damien Priest is going to win, because I do believe that, they put him in that spot at WrestleMania and they are building him up for something. And I think that he probably will be their next guy. And Nakamura has been losing a lot in singles matches already. He hasn't defended the title in what seems like 4 months. He's been a champion, like, a boxing champion. He defends the title once a year or something like that. He literally has the belt for no reason. This thing with Rick Boogs is not going anywhere. It's not growing. It's not shrinking. They're not talking to each other. They just dance, and that's it. It's incredibly boring. It's incredibly silly. WWE did change Damien Priest's theme song. He got a new gimmick that he only did twice, and then he vanished off the face of the earth, never to be seen or heard from again, for reasons unknown. But I think he was supposed to start a feud with Apollo Crews, and then Apollo Crews disappeared. So maybe, hopefully, that we get some build for that out of this. But Nakamura doesn't even have opponents. So this is all just going to be a complete, total wash. This is going to be a sham. I'm going to go with Damien Priest. Let's see. The Tag Team Championships, another match with absolutely zero build. RK Bro versus the Usos. I think, to be quite honest, the Usos are usually in this position. I don't remember Well, I don't think they were the tag team champions last year. I think it was the New Day versus someone. I think it might have been the Hurt Business. Yeah, I think it was the New Day versus Hurt Business last year, right? Okay. I think that Riddle and Randy should win, mainly because the Usos don't need to win, and RK Bro, even they don't need to win either. But I don't see why they wouldn't win. I can see the Usos beating Riddle. I can see that happening. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. It's going to be a fun match. Ought to be pretty solid. Riddle is in a good spot right now. He's very entertaining. Randy is trying to teach him lessons. So this ought to be a fun match. Again, zero build. It's hard to say who's going to win. But I'm guessing that RK Bro, because they have been booked stronger lately and far more recently than the Usos. The Usos are always getting tossed around, taking bumps for Roman and getting beat and beat up for no reason. So I'm going to go with RK Bro. Even though they always lose too, Riddle always getting beat up. So it's hard to tell, This one's kind of a wash. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here because the Usos don't really have opponents. And RK Bro seems to just be stuck in a revolving door of just wrestling Amos and AJ Styles 100 times over in the circle. So I don't know. The tag team division in this company is absolute basura. Amongst all three brands, if we're being honest. The NXT UK is doing decent, but their tag team champions are a bunch of weirdos. Let's see. The women's 5-on-5's traditional Survivor Series match. Representing Raw, Zelina Vega, Carmella, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. Versus representing SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm. So this is an opportunity here to make new stars. So I expect a good showing from some of the younger chicks, meaning Liv, Shotzi, and Toni. I expect them to really kind of look good here. The question is, how do we get the heavyweights out? How do you get Bianca, Bianca, Sasha, and Rhea Ripley out of this match without them winning and without them looking weak and just straight up getting beat? I think somebody's going to have to, not coexist. I pitched on the SmackDown side that maybe Shotzi turns on Sasha, and that's how Sasha gets out of there. And then maybe we do, Carmella and Zelina jump Rhea Ripley and get her out of there. And then maybe we can do another count out or something like that for Bianca. But I do think SmackDown will win because you have Toni and Shotzi on that scene. And they seem to be getting pushes lately. They also have Shayna Baszler and Natalya, who just straight up gets beat all the time. So I think it's really just a question of which one has the most star power, which is the Raw side because of Rhea and Bianca. I can easily see Rhea and Bianca being the last two on their team to win. And as a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Team Raw because of Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. They both are booked very strongly. And outside of Carmella and Zelina, being the reason Rhea Ripley gets eliminated, and Shotzi being the reason Sasha gets eliminated, those 3 or 4 are really booked very strongly in terms of Rhea, Bianca, and Sasha. They're booked really strong. So we're in an interesting situation here. It would be a good time to have, last year they had Lana as the sole survivor, which was a complete and total waste because she's not even in the company anymore. You could do a similar thing where somebody from, especially the SmackDown side, wins the match, like Toni Storm. She could beat Zelina and Carmella 2-on-1 in that type of situation. And that would be fun. And that would, of course, catapult her up the card so that she can look credible when she wrestles Charlotte. So that could be fun. I don't think they would do something like that though, because she's really the only baby face other her and Liv Morgan, and I don't really see Liv Morgan being able to beat Shayna Baszler and Natalya at the same time. Like that would be overkill. So I'm gonna go with Team Raw because of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, mainly because they're booked so strongly. I don't see anyone other than Sasha on the SmackDown side that's really overprotected. So, and plus you got a good excuse for getting Sasha out of there by having Shotzi turn on her, So, Let's go with Team Raw, the win, Bianca and Rhea. It's the 25-man Battle Royale, which they announced on SmackDown, which I saw a lot of people flipping out because AJ Styles is in this match. Apparently there's going to be tag teams in it as well, so Alpha Academy and the Street Profits are also in it. There's going to be a bunch of other guys. Sami Zayn is going to be in it. Omos is going to be in it. And this is going to be on the kickoff show, from what I was informed. This is going to be on the kickoff show. I don't know that for sure though. The 25-man Battle Royal, since they don't get anything for winning, I could see Omos just winning the match, and because he's a giant and he's booked very strongly. So maybe Omos and AJ Styles win, or maybe just Omos wins. I don't know what else. It's very hard to say that somebody should win a match where there are no stakes. Because there is no reason for them. Outside of he's booked very strong, there is no other reason I would pick Omos. But you can always do the 10 to 15 people dump him outside the ring. It's a battle royal, so it's not like it's gonna cost like he getting pinned to the mat or anything like that. But AJ Styles being in this match is not a big deal. I think he's just in a holding pattern until this thing with Edge comes around. Because I still do believe that Edge and AJ Styles is on the docket. And they've been talking about that for a while now. The Edge and AJ Styles match. And I do believe that that's more likely to kick off. Maybe even after Survivor Series. Or maybe sometimes near the Royal Rumble. They're going to start the proper build for that match at WrestleMania. Maybe they'll just they'll run into each other at the Royal Rumble or something. So I'm going to go with Omos to win the 25-man Battle Royal. All right, 5-on-5, traditional Survivor Series match, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Team Raw is Lashley, Austin Theory, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins versus Team SmackDown, which is Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Xavier Woods, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus. This is an all-star matchup. When you look at who is booked strongly in this match, McIntyre is the strongest booked person in this match. Next to him would be Lashley. He would be the strongest booked man for the Raw side. Because Seth Rollins is the number one contender for the WWE title, I would see him probably winning. Woods would be the closest contender to the Universal title, so I wouldn't be surprised if he won either. But then you also have the idea that Drew also needs to be kept strong because he is a possible contender for the Universal title. So there's a lot of options there as far as guys who are booked strong. I'm going to go with Team Raw, though. I'm going to go with Team Raw because Seth Rollins is the number one contender for the WWE title. And I don't see him just getting beat. And, he needs motivation. It needs to be reheated for his feud with Big E. And you got a freshly heel-turned Kevin Owens. And can he coexist with Finn Balor? And then, of course, you're going to have Corbin. And can he coexist with Drew and Jeff Hardy? It's a good spot for our boy Austin Theory, who is undefeated since he came to Raw. It's a good opportunity to showcase him as well. Maybe he's one of the last two guys remaining and he doesn't get beat. So, because Austin Theory is a young guy, they've really been trying to do something with him. I don't know if this is the time, though. I don't think this is the time. So I'm going to go with Team Raw because of Seth Rollins and Lashley. Nobody on the other side is booked as strongly as those two guys. And I think Seth Rollins, because he's the number one contender, and because Kevin Owens is in a storyline with Big E as well, that we keep those two guys strong at least. So that ought to be interesting at the very least. The match, I think, will main event the show. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. I don't think we're going to get a finish here. I don't think we get a finish. I think you're probably going to get disqualification. This has been probably the most booked match on the show as far as strength. Both of them are booked pretty strongly. I don't know. I think Becky was the last one to take a pinfall, and I think that was in a random episode of SmackDown or something like that when she got beat by Sasha Banks. So that was recent. Charlotte, I don't think, has lost by a pinfall or submission in forever. Smart money would put Becky over and by pinfall or something like that. But I don't think they're going to get a clean victory. Now that's why I said I think this match will probably main event the show, because to me, if the Rock or somebody like that is not showing up, this will probably close the show. And I still don't think it's going to be a clean win. I think it's going to be a satisfying end to the show, because they'll probably do something fun. But I don't see Charlotte voluntarily taking an L, nor do I see Becky voluntarily taking an L. So in that case, it'll probably start the show, and it'll probably end in disqualification. That's going to be my guess. My guess is it'll probably end in disqualification. And if they don't go on last. If they go on last, then I'm going to go ahead and say Becky will win, just because I think the company likes Becky. And they consider her to be the top star as far as women are concerned. And, if she's 1A and Charlotte is 1B. So I'm going to go with that. It would be nice if Bayley were to show up, and maybe she can get us out of this situation by, hitting somebody with a crutch or something like that, which would probably be Charlotte at that point. Then that would be cool. Or Asuka or somebody like that can come out there and cause some damage. That could all be pretty fun. But I think this is probably going to be the one match on the show where they're going to throw it out. They did it with Charlotte and Ronda. They'll probably do it again. They'll probably toss this match. And of course, the actual main event, Big E versus Roman Reigns. Neither one of these guys should be taking pinfall losses. You can't throw it out by disqualification, because you're already going to have one match in disqualification. So I think we're going to go with Roman Reigns via guillotine choke. Going to definitely have the Usos floating around. Definitely going to have the New Day floating around. You really could have just ran New Day versus the Bloodline and had them open the show, but they've already done it for Raw, I believe. They threw that away on Raw. They could have just did this and then let Becky and Charlotte main event. That would have been sweet. And then, maybe Xavier or Kofi could have took the pin, and Big E could have lost without losing. Or Jay or Jimmy could have took the pin, and Roman could have lost without losing. But in this situation where it's mano y mano, somebody got to take the L. So I'm going to go with Big E getting choked out by Roman. There was some talk that Brock may show up. And if Brock shows up and costs Roman this match, that could be something. I don't really want to see Brock and Roman continue their feud. I know I'm probably in the minority when it comes to that. I'm really kind of over the Brock and Roman matches, and I don't think we need any more of those. I'm looking for something fresh. Big E needs to be kept strong, but at the same time, is it really that big of a deal if he loses to Roman Reigns? Not really. Vice versa is not true, though. Even though Big E's a WWE champion, it still is a big deal for him to beat Roman. And it still kind of takes something. It steals something from whoever's going to beat Roman for the belt, if Roman's going to be the guy who's getting beaten this match. The likelihood for disqualification or some other kind of fuckery is pretty high for this match too. But I don't think both Becky and Charlotte and this match will both have disqualifications. So I can see one of those matches ending in DQ and the other one with the proper champion winning. So I believe Roman Reigns will win via guillotine choke or via a spear, or maybe some type of cheat tactic where the Usos interfere. And that's kind of it. So let's go through it again. I believe Roman Reigns will win. I believe Becky Lynch will win if this match is not in disqualification. I believe that Team Raw will win the the Survivor Series match. I believe Team Raw will win the other Survivor Series match too, both men and women's. I believe Team Raw will also win the Tag Team Championship match with the RK Bro. And I believe Team Raw will also win the Battle Royal with Amos, and Team Raw will also win the mid-card secondary championship match as Damien Priest defeats Shinsuke Nakamura. And I don't think any of these wins or losses will mean much of anything. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.
Tell me what's worse than learning all that you led to believe was all horse crap. They distort, so question as if you wore shit.